All right, Stokastic, here we go. It's your old pal EMAC coming to you on a Sunday morning, joined by the one and only Matt Bellman, who hid a sweat from all of us yesterday, then did a little dance as we ended the show with $30,000 tapping at his feet. Mr. Bellman, has the euphoria worn off yet?
Yeah, DFS and as a way of humbling you and putting you in your place. So already moved on to the next slate. Yeah, it does feel like with DFS, the close losses stay with you more than even the wins, but we'll take it. Hope to build off it. We got another interesting slate today. I'm glad I didn't play much of the night slate last night because that just looked like a fiasco. Needed Yankees for sure against Sonny Gray. Not even sure what else you needed, but a very, very high scoring slate.
Yeah, I was wrong. Literally everything. I was wrong. That's the best way to put that one together. But we said this was going to be a wild one, and it certainly was.
You know who you were right on? Casey Mize.
Yes, but no, I did not have enough representation. So
right, but you called him out at least.
It happens. It happens. Didn't do great. Did okay, not great on NASCAR. Did not do well on MMA. Was trying to collect some more tickets here as I'm looking to max out the $20 flagship on DraftKings Best Ball, which, by the way, Best Ball Week, apparently Best Ball Week 2 is starting tomorrow. There's already some promotions on the site at DraftKings. Keep in mind that we do have some content for that. In addition to, if you look at the upper section of the screen here, you can see there's a little Best Ball tab that's got some rankings and a few thoughts from some of our contributors here for Underdog in particular, but it does have other rankings there. You guys can check that out. We've got Chris Spags, of course, on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 o'clock on this very YouTube channel. And, of course, you can talk in the Discord, asking questions. There's an active community in there, bouncing a few ideas off each other here and there. But let's jump on into it. I see Stephen Leibowitz is in the chat. It is time to wish everybody a happy Eovaldi Day. Nathan Eovaldi is on our pitching list. It will be interesting to see how everything shakes out today. We've got a lot of craziness here. I've got the, let's see, I think I have FanDuel up here. I was just curious because I was building up my FanDuel lineups, but I was not expecting to see Dean Kramer near the top of the list. Now we can see everything is incredibly flat here on FanDuel amongst our top 8 or so pitchers, with Garrett Crochet standing out. You have on DraftKings a similar representation. Let's get, please, come on, computer, let's hurry up. I announced DraftKings and you were sitting on FanDuel. Similar here, Kramer slips down just a touch, but you can see very, very flat after Garrett Crochet. So, good sir, I'm turning this over to you. Garrett Crochet, our top pitcher, asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see all the asterisks that you do outside of the fact that it's just a really good hitting spot in Boston. But outside of that, like, he's an elite DFS pitcher. I mean, this slate, any slate, he's one of the top arms on any slate he's ever going to be on right now in his current form. Miami is not the easiest matchup in the world, but it's not the hardest. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying with the asterisks. There are red flags here, especially with the most expensive, highest owned pitcher on the slate. It's going to be approaching 70% in higher stakes. He's expensive, but it's just a matter of, if you don't roster him, you got to roster 2 other guys. I get it. Like, he's over-owned, and it's a toughest spot with weather, and you get Miami outside of Miami, so obviously good, better hitting park for them. But at the end of the day, his strikeout upside reigns far supreme over everyone else on this slate, and there are enough cheap offenses where I think you just make it work. Tough for me to get away from him. More that, like, it's not even that I love him so much, it's that I really don't like 2 other guys.
That, I think, is the perfect explanation for today. If we look at the Marlins lineup, they've got about, let's call it an 18% strikeout rate here against lefties. Everybody is well below league average, with the exceptions of your friend, Agustin Ramirez, who is at 29%, albeit in 102 plate appearances. Heriberto Hernandez is at 34.3%, just 70 plate appearances, and Derek Hill, 38.3%, 47 plate appearances. We've got Joey Weimer coming in here. He does not have any plate appearances this year against lefties, so those are the spots where we're going to need Crochet to make his mark. He did have a 35% strikeout rate last year, slipped, using the quotes, down to 30.6% this year. But keep in mind, the Chicago White Sox did not allow Crochet to go beyond the fourth inning from July forward last year. So his last 15 starts, he did not go more than 4 innings. That was by design, 1, to preserve his health, and 2, to make it so he was very, very, very tradable. That worked, as he is now with the Boston Red Sox. You also have, let's see what the updated line is now. Boston's gone up. They were 252 money line favorites. They are now 266 money line favorites here. So all things are coming up, Crochet. One moment, I need to cough. All right. Who is your next pitcher that is worthy of discussing at this point as we work our way down the list?
I mean, there's no one really that's like even close to Crochet. All these guys are jumbled together. I think Javier, I guess, is the next guy. Well, Eovaldi is the next best pitcher on the slate. Coming off a rough outing, but man, like, he's overpriced in a really good spot for who he is, because he's priced this expensive because of his ERA, not because of his like DFS upside. And then you get him against this Toronto lineup that is just absolutely brutal. Not only do they not strike out, but they're one of the best offenses in baseball right now. So Eovaldi is in play just because, like, there aren't many good pitchers on this slate. There aren't really any good pitchers in good spots outside of Crochet, if you want to call that a good spot. So that's why Eovaldi is the next guy. But after that, it's Javier. I don't know. Like, was okay in his first start back. He missed a while. He's expensive. We talked about Baltimore yesterday. They just called up another one of their top prospects. Like, I'm going to have a little bit of Javier because he looks so good in the tools. But, like, I have one lineup built and it has Javier in it. I'm playing 4. I don't think I'm going to play any more than that. Like, I don't feel good about Javier at all talking about it. I actually kind of like some Baltimore bats against him. And that's the slate we're dealing with. Like, the only guy you feel relatively good about, even if you don't feel like amazing, is Crochet. All these other guys got question marks that come along with them. I think the cleanest spot, combined with upside, is probably Will Warren. He's right behind Javier in the top pitcher tool. He's pretty affordable for his upside. Left-handed bats can get to him, so you got that worry, but it's not like St. Louis has a ton of amazing lefties. So, I guess the long-about way of saying Warren is my next favorite pitcher, but I don't feel great about it. How about yourself?
So, similar. And I noticed we still haven't really hit on Dean Kramer yet, which was the surprise. So with Javier, expectations are 85 or so pitches is probably his target. That's what he got to in his last start. That was his first of the season. He had worked his way through 5 rehabilitation outings from July 12th forward. His last 2 were 64 and 77 pitches before he got to the 85. So we should see something approaching a close workload. If he is struggling, if things are rough, I do not expect them to leave the Astros to leave him out there to figure it out. I expect them to go to the bullpen because there's still enough of the season left, and they've been getting by with patchwork pitching staff thus far, aside from Hunter Brown being their anchor. So they're going to need their arms back. So I think he's got a light cap on him if things are hard today, but I think he is very much in play. You mentioned Eovaldi has that tougher matchup there against Toronto. Toronto has their actual lineup today has a 13.4% strikeout rate. League average is just over 20%. Nobody, if we look for the entire season, it's Toronto, and they're around 17%. So they've put forth a lineup today that is like about as low as you can possibly get. Dalton Varsho and Addison Barger are the only players that strike out above league average. They're the only players that strike out more than 17% in this lineup. All right, fine. George Springer strikes out at 18.6, but you've got Vladdy Jr. at 13.5, Alejandro Kirk at 7.7, Nate Lukes at 10.5, Clement at 11.1. This is just non-existent strikeout. So that could make things tougher for Evaldi, even though he is on a nice stretch himself here. Has sort of turned things around, got his strikeout rates up to 25.5%. So yes, he's in the short list. Yes, I will have some lineups with him, but not exciting. Will Warren, let me call up on my other screen here. Now the rookie has been very good against opposing righties from a strikeout perspective. He has a 33% against 230 same-handed matchups this year. That slides down to 21.2 against 302 lefties. We have, let's see, 3 lefties is all today. I'm missing someone in my filter. In any event, you've got Newbar, Burleson, and Nolan Gorman, who are the most troublesome hitters here. And then the back of the order looks like a nice little 1, 2, 3 spot with Jordan Walker, Pozo, the catcher, and then Seguis there, the shortstop. So I agree with you on Will Warren. There's just enough righties there to make things interesting. Weather, of course, is going to be in the mid-90s. There's a light breeze out to right field, and it's very humid there next to the Mississippi. But I think he is kind of our SP2 as we're trying to work things in. Those guys make the second tier. I still can't get Dean Kramer on the second tier. He's kind of an honorary mention, I guess. Similarly, Jose Barrios. I didn't go look, but I'm assuming I don't know what happened after Corbin's game, but he and Corbin have basically allowed the most home runs in the league since the start of the 2022 season. The big difference is Barrios in that same time frame has barely over a 4 ERA. So he allows home runs, but doesn't necessarily allow a lot of the other stuff that Corbin has prior to this season, in which he has been relatively reasonable. What are your thoughts on Dean Kramer?
Yeah, Kramer belongs right in that Will Warren mix. I mean, I don't love the spot for Kramer because Houston's got a good offense, but it's mostly right-handers, so you get that going for him.
The one thing I do want to call out, though, they only have a 15.3% strikeout rate, even though it's mostly right-handed. So that's pretty good.
I do prefer Warren over Kramer, but I think they're close enough. And I will say, just to give the people some context of the pitching on this slate, in the Sims, Crochet is by far my highest owned pitcher. The next 2 guys after that are Heaney and Assad. Andrew Heaney and Javier Assad. So that kind of tells you all you need to know.
Oh, those are 2 names I was not expecting.
I'm not saying I'm playing those guys, but those are the guys that are coming up.
Let's see what we have for. Why is that not working for me? All right, we'll get to that in just a sec. But in the meantime, just quickly, everybody, thank you for coming in and joining us on a Sunday. If you guys have not yet signed up for Portfolio EV, you can get a free 7-day trial in the YouTube description below us here. That is Portfolio EV, the top-down sports wagering model that we use here at Stokastic to help us find all sorts of exciting edges by pitting the various books against each other. It makes things a lot of fun. We get a little bit of an advantage against those darn professionals out there by using them against them. It's sort of like judo, right? You kind of give the use their leverage against them. But that is Portfolio EV. Check that out. If you have not yet signed up, you can go into that link for those 7 free days. All righty. Calling up the weather here. It's everywhere that's outside is mostly hot and humid is the best way to say it here. I was trying to find the wind in if there was any in sorry, my words are not coming out smoothly today. I was looking for the wind in Wrigley Field. There we go. It is 8 to 12 miles an hour towards left center. It is going to be, that's Cincinnati, my bad. Wrigley is in today, 6 to 8%, or 6 to 8 miles per hour. So still warm in the upper 70s, very humid in the 70 to 80 range. But that's given us the Javier Assad look, just a 3 implied run total for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is going with an opener, Carmen Mlodzinski there, and then they're going to turn things over to Andrew Heaney, it looks like. Talk to me about those pitchers there, Matt. Nothing like living on the edge.
Yeah, honestly, I don't have much endearing to say about them outside of the weather in this game. Certainly with Assad, you can point to the matchup also, but I don't know. Like, these pitchers aren't good. These are guys I like to stack against often. The tools really like them, though, and I think it's a combination of 3 things: their price tags, the weather, and most importantly, how no other pitcher besides Crochet really projects well today. So in those, when you combine those things, you get a situation where it's just like kind of like what I say a lot: why not just spend down? That's what the tools are basically saying here. And as a bonus, you get like the best pitching weather on the slate. So I don't know. I don't think these pitchers are good. In a lot of spots, we would want to pick on them. Just not today. I don't know if I'm going to end up using them, but it certainly is eye-opening how much they're popping in the Sims.
All right. I see chat is sort of on my side. I'm going to believe they're on my side with the exception there of James Sarconi. James, come on. Throw those tomatoes, throw them accurately, make sure they're nice and rotten so they don't hurt so much when they hit me, but they kind of explode. Rotten vegetables only. No unripened fruit. It hurts and bruises me. So there we are. What the guy I actually streamed today is Ryan. I'm going to assume it's pronounced Burgett. He is going for Kansas City. Matt, do you have thoughts on him? Because I do, if you do not.
Yeah, my thoughts on him are that he's kind of been pitching over his head. Very good hitting weather there today. I like the White Sox quite a bit. I get it. I looked at him. I really did. I looked at him hard, just considering who we have on the slate. But, man, the White Sox look so, like, compared to where they normally are, they really stand out in the top stack tool to me. Matter of fact, they have the highest stack score on the slate. Weather, really good hitting weather there. I'm in on the Sox here. I'm not on Burgett.
All right. So my call outs for him, and you said it, he was over his head. I said it a little differently. He has outperformed expectations. So he came over with Tyler Kolek in exchange for backup catcher Freddie Fermin in a deal with San Diego. That's about all you need to know. So not a lot of high level upside for him. He projects for about 7 strikeouts per 9. He's been closer to 1 per 9. One of the reasons, and I read a couple articles on it today, one of the reasons it was appealing to get him and Kolek was they still have options left. So Kansas City's trying to do some patchwork stuff here with 2 of their better pitchers on the injured reserve right now, and they were looking for flexibility in addition to fresh arms that could eat some innings here for him. If he was going against Colorado, if he was going against the White Sox, that's about it for my interest in him. But for DFS purposes, putting your hard-earned money behind him, 7,200 does give a little bit of salary relief. But this is one of those spots where I also call it the White Sox, while they're in the bottom 3 of the league when it comes to WRC plus against righties with a 90. If we look at just that's just with their active roster, their overall this season is an 83. So they've gotten rid of some of their worst players. Their younger players are hitting a little bit better here. So it's not the pushover that they have been previously. They're not great. They've averaged only 3.63 runs in their last 14 games, but they have scored 5 or more in 14 of those games. So it's one of those where we're blindly picking against them doesn't seem like a great idea anymore. This is a spot where it's one of about 2 or 3 teams I'd consider. So that's wrapping that one in the caveats here. The appeal for Dean Kramer is all of the players that are hurt for Houston. Jordan Alvarez getting closer to a return. Who knows what that exactly is going to be. But of course, Isaac Paredes is out, Jake Myers, Brendan Rodgers. Pena was back in the lineup. He was out yesterday. He's back leading off today. So they're running thin with the bottom of their order there. The likes of Jacob Melton, Mauricio Dubon, Taylor Trammell, etc. Jesus Sanchez batting lead. So it's not a daunting lineup per se, but I'm not very excited about Dean Kramer. I think he should be in the same bucket as Burgett and maybe Assad.
I agree. And in general, I like Burgett. I like his arm. And I kind of view this as like the opposite of you. I think they way overpaid for Freddie Fermin, even though Fermin's been good for them. Like, I don't understand why you would deal 2 arms like that for a guy like Fermin. That said, I don't like the spot. I don't love the spot for Burgett today. Really, really good hitting weather in Kansas City. A lot of his numbers and stuff are from San Diego. He was good in that first start for Kansas City, but I think he comes back down to earth here. So I see both sides of it. I really do. Because on this slate, a 7,200 Burgett against the White Sox certainly isn't a bad play on paper considering the other pitching options.
All right. Anything else positive to say about anyone? It's rough for Quintana. He is in Cincinnati. I did like him against Pittsburgh, but that was a far easier matchup. You have Andrew Abbott, though his strikeouts are down, and he's going against the seemingly endless and magical lineup of the Milwaukee Brewers, who now get to play in Great American Ballpark. We hit on Barrios. Logan Allen, I guess, last name to throw out there against Atlanta. Give you one more chance to talk about him on a Sunday.
Yeah, especially if like Heaney and Assad are going to get ownership, because those guys stink. Like, I mean, Heaney's not even starting. He hasn't gone over 80 pitches in a while, I think. Assad stinks. So, like, give me some pivots off those guys. If it's Logan Allen, sure.
All right. So just flashing up here one last time. This is the popularity here, the ownership. On DraftKings, it's very, very flat after Crochet. It takes 4 pitchers basically to equal his representation in tournaments. If we look at FanDuel here, we'll probably see something semi-similar. It takes 2 pitchers to catch him there, Kramer, Assad, and Javier. So remember, you really want to get that quality start on FanDuel. The best bets for the quality start today are going to be Crochet, Kramer, and I'm not convinced anybody else is what I would call someone that can go 6 innings with any confidence. When we look at these guys, keep in mind Haney cannot qualify for it because you got to start the game to earn a quality start. Are you ready to kind of go game by game here, see what's up with the pitcher or with the hitters?
Yes, sir.
All righty, let's go to game number 1, Miami at Boston. We have a pretty solid Red Sox lineup going against Jansen Junk. Junk had a 17% strikeout rate this year, a 16.7% last year, only a 9% swinging strike rate this season, but that is up from 7.4. Has controlled power a little bit as compared to his mere 48 hitters he went against last year. What do you want to do with the Bo Sox?
Yeah, so they were obviously really good to me yesterday. 5-man stacked them in the only lineup I played. Took it down. They look great here. Really good hitting weather in Boston again. And ownership is flat. I do expect the top of this lineup to be owned, but the lineup's so deep of good and full of good hitters. I think you can go 1 through 9 here. Again, there are other good stacks today, so I'm not going to sell my soul to stack the Red Sox. I liked them more yesterday against Quantrill, who I think is worse than Jansen Junk, but I don't think Jansen Junk is very good. So, yeah, I'm in on Boston today. I wouldn't fault anyone for having them as their top stack on the board, like at all.
Is it worth taking any hitters against Crochet, maybe a 2 or a 3-man, in the hopes he melts down? Or is that just a bridge too far today?
For me, it'd be more like home run hunting, like Augustin Ramirez you talked about. I do think that there is enough leverage today, and the hitting spot weather-wise is good enough where 5-man stack in Miami, if you're playing a ton of lineups, like isn't the worst idea. Cincinnati got to Crochet in a similar spot a couple weeks ago. Wouldn't be crazy to see Miami do the same. It's not a priority for me, not something I'm going to play, but it's not like the Miami isn't the Rockies, and you are getting them in a massive ballpark upgrade. And Crochet is going to be crazy highly owned, most importantly, because of the lack of other pitching options.
Yep. For those wondering, Aroldis Chapman and Justin Wilson are the only relievers that have pitched twice in the last 72 hours. So the bullpen is fresh for Boston. Continuing along our merry way, as one Eric Lindquist would say, we have, let me close this out. These the porn bots the NFL TV bots are out in full force today, which is pretty frustrating. Jerks, go away. That'll keep them out of our hair. Toronto Blue Jays hosting the Texas Rangers. We talked about Eovaldi. We talked a little bit about Barrios. Do you want to go with these offenses?
Not really. Texas is mildly intriguing because Barrios is he's okay, and they're cheap. But in this park today with so many bad pitchers, probably not. Like, I do like Texas a little bit, but I don't think enough to actually use them in 4 lineups. If I were playing more than that, maybe, but in 4, probably not. Toronto, no. You're not even getting a lot of leverage against Eovaldi, who won't be highly owned. There's a chance. Like, I spoke on Eovaldi earlier. What I could see happening here, like right now we're projecting Eovaldi for 8% ownership. I could see that coming in at like 3% ownership. And at that point, I'd be more interested in Eovaldi. I don't know that's going to happen, but I could see just him being extremely low owned because of the price, the matchup, Crochet. That would be the side that would intrigue me over playing Toronto against him. So no thanks there.
Our next, and I had to kill all of my favorite saved things, so I don't happen to have it up, but I do know because I listened to Eric Lindquist. You've got Eric Fede going against Cleveland. Fede is one of the pitchers that has allowed more than his fair share of stolen bases this season. Should also mention, similarly, Miami is one of the worst teams at protecting stolen bases. So the speedsters for Boston are in play, or if you are dabbling on some of the pick'em sites or sports wagering sites, you may find a stolen base prop to your advantage. If you were going to pick somebody to steal for your Cleveland Guardians today, who would that be, and how do you like the rest of the Cleveland squad?
I do like Cleveland here. Fede stinks. I was going to pick someone to steal. It'd be Jose Ramirez because he's their best hitter and he gets on base a lot. But I don't know. That's all I have to say about that. As far as the lineup goes, 3 through 7 are what intrigues me most. You got Bo Naylor hitting 5th. Not having a great year, but cheap catcher hitting 5th. Intrigued. Obviously, J-Ram, Manzardo. CJ Kafis has been amazing in the minors so far this year. Finally got called up and has been good. I've shouted him out a couple times. I like the Guardian stack here. They don't look as good in the tools as I thought they would, but I still think they're in play.
I think they are reasonable. I am not actually going to build out a Guardians lineup. I don't think I've done 6 so far in the single lineup sim or 3 of my 6 for FanDuel. We'll have to see. They're right on the borderline here. I've gone with Arizona, Colorado, and I just did a New York lineup. We'll talk about them in a sec, but I'm fanning out here. So I was hoping you might have a little bit more veracity or interest in the Guardians so they could be a potential option for me here. Let me get to way too many screens up for this. So Fetty's big thing is his strikeouts just continue to go down, down, down. He washed out of the league with the Nationals, ended up reinventing himself overseas, came back, was working more with the sweeper, and changed his pitch mix. But it appears the league has kind of figured out what he is doing at this point, and it is not it's not escaping notice. The Braves here, what do you like with the Braves? Because they got a lot of power in the top 5, even including Michael Harris.
Yeah, Harris is on a little heater right now too. Yeah, Atlanta looks better than Cleveland in the tools. I think that's just a byproduct of their lineup being better. Because I think that Fetty is worse than Logan Allen. Not that Logan Allen's great. I think this is a good example of, on a lot of slates, both Cleveland and Atlanta would look like 2 of the very top stacks on the board in these spots, excuse me. But they don't today because there are so many good hitting spots, weather just as good in other places, worse pitching, better lineups. So I think these 2 stacks are both middle of the board. I like them both about equally. I know that we have Atlanta higher, but I'd rather pick on Fetty than Logan Allen. I'm sure you feel the same.
Agreed. Continuing along here, we got half a dozen more games. Cincy, Milwaukee. See someone in chat asking about Jose Quintana stacking against him. The one thing with Quintana is he usually limits the damage. He is a savvy veteran, the crafty lefty, gets just enough strikeouts, doesn't chase them, but gets just enough to be able to get out of jams. But he also gets close to a 50% ground ball rate. And that means the double play is his friend because that helps clean up the base paths as well. So this would be one of the 4 parks to target him in. Great American Ballpark, one of the most offensive friendly in the league. Where's the weather? It's going to be in the mid 80s. You've got a light breeze out to center there. So conditions are great. It's just that he tends to limit power. If we look at including last season, so we can get a larger sample size, his last 1,200 batters faced, he has allowed a 152 ISO. Surprisingly, it's a 134 against righties. It's 208 against lefties, just 286 lefties faced. Nobody aside from TJ Friedel is going from the left side of the plate against him. So that really doesn't matter today. But you're hoping a lot of things go sideways, and Milwaukee, with them being in the thick of the playoff race, they'll go to the bullpen if things are going poorly. I don't think this is quite the right spot for that. Let's reframe this. If Milwaukee was just playing out the string and Quintana was just going to go out there regardless essentially of what happens and eat 5 innings, yes, I think they're more in play than they would be with these games absolutely meaning something for the Brewers here. Just sort of my take on that situation. Anything you would like to call out for Milwaukee or Cincinnati on the offense?
No, this is another one, kind of like Atlanta, Cleveland, right? Where I'm with you. Neither of these offenses really stand out, but great hitting park. Abbott's good enough where you're not going out of your way for Milwaukee, but Milwaukee's good enough where they can win any slate, as they've showed a bunch recently. Cincinnati's not amazing, but neither is Quintana, especially in this ballpark. So I think both these stacks, while similar to Cleveland and Atlanta, actually look a little bit better. So still not the top priorities for me, but more about offense for me than pitching in this game.
All right. Now we've got some fun here. We've got some intriguing options. But first, let me quickly talk about the Stokastic Hall of Fame program. You can see on the screen here, you can download one of these fun Stokastic avatars, upload that to your DFS site of choice, finish top 3 in any contest that has at least 5,000 entries in it. That needs to be first, second, or third. 3-way tie for first, that's okay. 15-way tie for first? Nope, sorry. Really got to be first, second, or third here. But you can see you can win this multiple times, work your way up the levels of rewards. including if you win $1 million. And oh, by the way, we had I think 3 or 4 different subscribers win $1 million last year. Look at this. We're going to give you all access sims for an entire year for shouting us out. How do you shout us out? Well, you take a quick screenshot there, tweet that, your winning screenshot showing your Stokastic avatar to Stokastic HOF on Twitter. You also send that in to support@stokastic.com so we can find it quickly, and we will get you set up with a free month of Stokastic single sport sims. We've got a Remember Me spot here, Matt. It is Chris Paddock going against some old friends as he is on his new team. Detroit gets to go against Thomas Hatch and the Minnesota bullpen. This looks like a spot where we might find some offense. What do you have for us here?
Yeah, so unfortunately you have a little bit of wind blowing in here, but I don't care. Great spot for offense in this game. Still going to be warm weather, obviously, dead of the summer. Detroit looks great. Thomas Hatch is not very good. The Twins bullpen is absolutely depleted. They have one lefty in their pen right now, Funderburk. He's pitched 4 out of the past 5 days. Can't imagine he pitches today. Even if he does, he's not going to be very effective. A lot of the pinch hit risk that Detroit usually takes on is mitigated by that. So Tigers look great here. I think the Twins look pretty good on the other side as well. Paddock, pretty fraudulent arm, just not very good, gets hit harder by righties. I think both sides of this game are in play offensively. I like Detroit more, but I think Minnesota also looks good, if not great. How about yourself?
I would agree, and these are going to be teams I'm looking to build out with my 6 stacks or 6 hand-built lineups, single lineup, sim-built lineups on FanDuel. I was just trying to decide if it's going to be one or both. Tiny chance of rain in the area here. That doesn't impact us because we're not going after the pitchers. At most, it would be a delay if it even comes to fruition. So I don't think that is anything that should dissuade us from going to this matchup. As Matt mentioned, 8 to 12 mile an hour wind coming in there from the outfield. So a little knock against the teams, but the pitchers definitely override the minor weather concerns. All right, we are moving forward here. Kansas City against the White Sox. Davis Martin on the mound. I liked Kansas City yesterday. I liked them today. Vinny Pasquantino left in the first inning. He was experiencing heat exhaustion. He is back in the lineup today, batting third. I don't think that's any knock. Any concerns with him. He's had a full night to rehydrate, and if there were any concerns, I don't think they'd have him out in the lineup at all today. Look to the top 5 there going against Davis Martin. I mentioned that Burgett is somewhat interesting here purely for salary relief, but I think you can look to the top 4 or 5 against him in turn here for the White Sox. Are these hitters making any of your lineups today?
Yeah, I like both sides hitting here. It's already talked about the White Sox. There might be my favorite stack on the board, ownership considered. KC also looks good. They're always going to be highly owned. Martin's not good. The White Sox bullpen isn't good. I think they look like the better plays. I think the ownership edge is with Chicago. So do with that what you will.
Suddenly I've become a passive White Sox fan, a passive fan of the Pale Hose here. Who knew? 3 more to go, 4 for FanDuel. Continuing on our 2 o'clock games here. We sort of nibbled at discussing Dean Kramer and Christian Javier here. We gave advocated for them. What do you think the listeners need to know about their respective?
Yeah, I mean, I think both offenses are in play because they're good in the case of Houston, and upside, previously good hitters with upside, or young hitters in Baltimore's case, and 2 pitchers that are volatile. 2 of the better arms on the slate, but that's just because there aren't very good arms on this slate. So I don't think picking on Javier or Kramer, for that matter, is a crazy idea. I'm more on the pitching in this game just because there aren't other pitchers I really like, but if you told me you wanted to stack Baltimore against Javier, I wouldn't fault you at all. I mean, he's just coming back. He's volatile. Lefties have always gotten him. I get it.
All right. Now we get some fun. Now we got something to dig into. The Yankees in St. Louis taking on the Redbirds here. Miles Mikolas, always fun. He was in the league in 2009 is when he began his minor league journey back with the Padres. I'm showing on the screen his baseball reference page. You can see it took him a while to get to the show there. Made it there in 2013. Had a little stint with Texas where he kind of sucked and ended up going to Japan for not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 seasons. Oh, my God. Came back to St. Louis here in 2018, and he has essentially been an innings eater since. He is going to turn 37 this weekend. This is no longer someone that really can be trusted, even in his role to eat innings. He can be challenging. Flipping over to FanGraphs here, we can see that he has just shy of a 5 ERA, but he's got an expected ERA of 5.1. If we look at his last few games here, we're cherry picking just a little bit, but if we go back to June 10th, he has a 6.1 almost ERA, almost a 6 FIP, and a 4.21 xFIP. Full steam ahead for the Yankees. There is nothing redeeming at this point about Miles Mikolas other than he's a fellow old. What do you have for the Yankees? And Bellinger got the night off last night. He's in the lineup today.
Yeah, Yankees look great here. I mean, Mikolas stinks. Yankees have finally gotten off the schneid this series, it seems. Judge with his first multi-hit game since the All-Star break last night. Yeah, they look very, very good here. No problems. In fact, I want to go back there. They're the top stack on the board here. They're going to be the highest owned. Smidgen worried about ownership, but not enough where I don't want to play them. They look great here. I do think that, it's not like they look like the Diamondbacks and Coors. I mean, they have a 9.9% chance of being the top stack. There are 3 other teams over 9. The White Sox are over 7. So, they're the top stack, but not by a grand margin. That said, their upside here is the highest on the slate. I don't think anyone would argue that. They've even got some stolen base upside now with Caballero in the lineup. Dominguez will run too. So, yeah, the Yankees, man, hard to get away from today.
All right. To be clear for those listening, I answered Sotex in chat. He will be 37 on I should have said next weekend, the upcoming weekend. It's the 23rd, so he is 6 days away. Saturday will be his birthday. Dear God. NFL extremes. Come on. Do you we mentioned Will Warren. You've had time for things to percolate a little bit. You're still solid with Will Warren as your SP2? As an SP2 candidate?
Yeah, I mean, relatively. I don't love it. I think he's more volatile than I'd like for that price point in this spot, but it's just a matter of there aren't other guys I like more. So, yeah, I'm still on it.
All right. That takes us up to Pittsburgh and Chicago. You talked a little bit about the pitchers in this one. A wind coming in, a skosh, mid-70s, mid to upper 70s. God, going against that Chicago lineup is tough. Sing us one last round of praises for Andrew Heaney here, who is likely to be the bulk reliever coming in after Carmen Walensky.
Yeah, that's the other thing about it. Likely to be the long reliever. We don't even know if he's pitching. He stinks, and it's a tough matchup.
Walensky came in after whoever it was for the Dodgers, and he ended up only going 2 innings. He ended up being the loss. He was the pitcher of record. But yeah, the bulk guys, it's a little tough.
Is that you're talking about Robleski that day?
Yeah.
I didn't even know he came in, but it was also noted that Ohtani was going 5 innings there.
Uh-huh.
So I do think that he kind of lost his value at that. I don't think Mladzinski's going to go anywhere near that, but it's still Andrew Heaney. The only endearing things I have to say about him are threefold. I mentioned it earlier. Great hitting, great pitching weather, He's cheap, and then there aren't very many good pitchers on this slate. So when you combine those 3 things, all of a sudden you get a situation where Andrew Heaney's in play. That's about all it is for me, though. And I'm personally not going to play him. I'll be transparent about it.
Did you guys catch that? That was Matt Bellman dropping some old-timey language threefold. You could have given me an entire fortnight to guess of which archaic term you would use, and I would not come up with three. See what I did there? Fortnite, not just a video game, kids.
When the shoe fits, you just sometimes.
Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see. That takes us through the end here, with the exception of FanDuel. I will build out some lineups on the screen in just a moment, but going to the final game of the FanDuel slate, it looks like, and I didn't look him up, Nabil Krismat is going to be pitching here for the Diamondbacks. I'm okay going with anybody for the Rockies at this point. Of course, it is the Arizona Diamondbacks who get to go against, and now my computer just froze, but from memory, it is Senzatella. But there is no Ketel Marte in the lineup today. That is pushing Jake McCarthy up to the 5-hole, so he will be holding the platoon advantage from there. So I am good with this being the priority play. If we go back to the Tops stack tool here and we look at FanDuel, it just got an update about 10 minutes ago. So DraftKings, the ownership at the top 3 stacks is very tight now, Matt. If we look at FanDuel, we can see that it's a 2-to-1 expectation that Arizona is the top stack. Number 2 is Colorado, and combined there's a 1 in 3 chance that one of these teams is going to be the most fantasy friendly stack on the slate or FanDuel. If we look at the popularity, very, very similar. 33% of the field is going to be rostering teams from or players from those teams. I don't have anything bad to say about either team in this matchup.
Yeah. Damn, Krismat starting for Arizona today. Wow. I mean,
I just wanted to quickly look him up. I know he's been around the league for a little bit.
He's been 30
years old.
Didn't he pitch for the Padres?
He did go for the Padres. He has been in Triple-A. He was never a prospect.
He's not good.
No. He never really broke through. He has 177 innings in the show. He has made 1 start. Otherwise, he has been a reliever in 113.
I will say, I feel like you feel the same too. Part of the reason I love the Sunday slates in the morning isn't just because the games all start like within an hour. It's because you don't have to deal with Coors, and you know it going in that Coors is just never on the DK slate. So like FanDuel is just a completely different, it's just a completely different beast here. It's not even comparing apples to apples because Arizona and Colorado are by far the top 2 stacks of the day. So it's a matter of whether you play one of those or you get different with one of the other really good stacks we talked about. FanDuel looks like last night's DraftKings slate.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I
want to go back to the Chicago-Pittsburgh again. Am I crazy, or are we crazy to use some bats here against these guys? Because it's not like the total's crazy low. I do think that it's going to be hard to hit upside, but man, Assad stinks. Heaney stinks. These guys are not good. And they're going to be owned. So thoughts there.
No, I think it's good. It's just there's so many other potential spots that are just inherently better.
Yeah,
but hey, guess what? There was on the afternoon slate, and you picked the one that was correct and won yourself $30,000. So baseball is baseball.
Yeah, dog shines sometimes, huh?
Yeah. I can hear it raining outside my house. I can hear the thunder, but it's still sunny as I look out the window. That is unique, to say the least. I ended up going, as I'm building them out on the screen, I am ending up going with stacks one from Minnesota and 1 from Detroit. Cleveland did not make my cutoff. Sorry, man. Sorry. Sotex has asked for the late slate. Sure, I got you covered there. So 3-game late slate, just looking at that really quick. Logan Webb is going to be the easy ace of the afternoon. The Tampa Bay Rays, of course, are outside of Steinbrenner Field. That makes things tough for them because San Francisco, one of the better pitching parks in the league, even with the 105 local start. The Rays are also without Jonathan Aranda. Arnada. Taylor Walls, Johnny DeLuca each landed on the injured list in the last 10 days or so. Ha-Seong Kim is back. Josh Lowe was a late scratch last night. We'll have to see if he's in the lineup, but not overly daunting. You have Webb being one of the best ground ball pitchers in the league. He also is adding strikeouts this year. He's done that one other season, but this year it looks like he has been pretty strong. Actually, even dating back to last year, he has almost a 23% strikeout rate. So Webb is your top pitcher. Pitcher number 2 is going to be Jose Soriano, in my opinion. He has been even better since the start of last year. He has a 64.3% strikeout rate across 1,075 batters. That is the highest of anybody that has thrown at least 250 innings in that period. If anyone is going to survive in Sutter Park, it could be him with that high ground ball rate. So I do want to call that out because in turn that makes athletics a little less appealing. And for offenses, of course, the Athletics and the Angels are popping as 2 of the best. I think we go to San Francisco against Ryan Pepio because Pepio threw a scheduling clerk. This is going to be from the scheduling clerk. This is going to be his 5th straight road start. He has been not afraid to attack opposing hitters. His strikeouts have been solid this year, about 1 per inning, but he has been giving up power. In his last 5 starts, these road starts, 28 innings, 28 strikeouts, 5.8 ERA, 6.1 FIP. Says he has not been unlucky. I think Devers and Willie Adames are the 2 guys you want to look to. I don't think you need to full stack them, but I think if you go for a third, it could be Young-Ho Lee. It could be leadoff man Helio Ramos. Or you could go with Dominic Smith, though on DraftKings, I believe Smith and Devers are still both first base. I didn't look at that yet today, but I do know Matt Chapman is on the injured list, so there's always a chance somehow, through magic, Devers gets his third base eligibility back. But that you may only be able to play one of those guys. We've got 9 minutes to go. I'm going to launch my lineups here. Let me export these and let's build things out. Anything you're noticing as you are putting we have 9 minutes to go. Anything you're noticing as you are putting the final touches on your lineups?
I am excited to do our home run calls. That is about it.
Okay. That would be the dongs. Dong of the day. Dong of the day. I know my wife can hear me, so that is a forbidden song in our household, but it is the dong of the day. Shut.
I'm with you. If you can hear me out there, get him to stop. Help.
I have a feeling I'm going to be getting a stern look and perhaps a strongly worded email after the show.
Oh God, that's good.
All right, filtering. Let's kick this off here and get that running. That's the other one. That song that stuck in my head this weekend. Let's get it started.
Yeah. Little Black Eyed Peas.
Almost 20 years old now.
Jesus Christ.
That hurts. I was you're familiar with why am I blanking? Van Halen?
Yeah, of course.
Van Halen 1984 is farther away from us now than 50s rock and roll was when Van Halen 1984 was released. Wait for it, on January 1st, 1984. There were release parties in the record stores at midnight. So that was part of it.
Well, that makes sense because I was born in 84.
Okay. Yeah. So that's just, we're all getting old. 84, I was in maybe 8th grade. Was that about right? That sounds right.
I was hearing young, I don't know what it was on, what format, like TikTok or Twitter videos or something like that, of young NBA players, like rookies, saying like what year someone was born to consider them like an old head. And they were like, but most of them were like anything after the year 2000 or anything before 2000. And I was like, oh my God.
Which,
from their perspective is right.
It is the fact that now there's large swaths of Americans that do not remember 9/11. Right? That's how long ago that was.
That's wild.
Yeah. Very interesting. All right. So looking at my stacks here, let me make sure I'm actually sharing the right screen. I want to, so half of my lineups running this unencumbered have crochet. I'm going to knock that down to 40. I don't really want more than, let's call it 15% of these other guys, because I'd like to get a nice little spread here, since I think this is an odd slate today. I want to take advantage of the chaos, the embrace that variance there. So can you hear my dog barking now? Go ahead.
Sure can.
It's a party over here. She got spayed, so she is not thrilled to be wearing a cone.
The cone. Yeah, the cone.
I am not thrilled to have her wearing said cone, because she's being a royal pain in the ass. So, we're six days in, which means 6 more days to go with the cone. She's already chewed through 3 of them. So yeah, that's not fun. And since my wife has been taking care of her for the last hour, I know I will be on duty here shortly. Okay, so let me get these uploaded. We can go see if people have questions and get our last 5 minutes in. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. I was hoping to get these built out a little sooner, but did not get to it because this slate was so much fun to talk about. I sidetracked myself. Let me upload these. And to borrow a phrase from Ted Lasso, a barbecue sauce. We got those in. Let's take a peek at what chat is saying here. We have, make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Nope, we are good. I know some people were asking earlier, why are numbers and stuff showing after your name? That is a YouTube thing. They have now changed their display process. But if you go into your YouTube settings, and this is the weird part, you're not going to find a My Profile. You're going to find a My Channel. If you go in there, you can go change your display name. It's relatively easy. I went in and even was able to find it once I knew what to look for. It wasn't too hard to get that done. So if you guys want to tweak stuff, it's not a problem. Dear God, we're getting more and more porn bots here. Taking Brett Rooker to home runs for the late slate. That's good. Who was your dong of the day?
Yeah, we didn't even do them. You got so caught up in the song. Did you say yours?
No, I did not.
Yeah, you got so caught up in the song and the repercussions of you singing the song that we never actually gave our picks. That's amazing. Mine is a guy who I'm not sure if anyone's said his name all year for Homer, but he's seeing the ball well right now. I like this stack. Javi Baez going yard.
Oh, that would be all-star. Javi.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. That's a little bit of degree of difficulty on there. I'm going to go with a Yankee, but not the obvious Yankee. I'm going with Trent Grisham.
Okay. 4 hits yesterday. At least 4 hits.
Oh, wow. I was not aware of that. Yeah, I just did not have a good – I ended up drafting best ball teams last night because I was so disappointed with my DFS results. I went away from that. Let's see what everybody else has been putting in here. Superbad is 21 years old today.
Wow.
That's interesting.
One of the best comedies ever.
And that is way up there.
Well, I don't want to say one of the best comedies ever, but one of the funniest in my mind.
Very, very strong. Baby Matt was getting put to bed with dad singing Hot for Teacher. Very true. What else do we got? So Text, 1984 came out.
That's a Van Halen song, I presume.
Yeah, got it made, got it made, got it made. Hot for Teacher, also a great song used in the strip club for Varsity Blues, if we're talking about it.
Okay, yeah. Good call.
Sotek says he's looking at Brent Rooker for the home runs. I said Grisham. Tom Olson says Matt Olson. Mighty Quinn going with Corey Seager. No, not Nathan is going with Brian Rohikio. There you go. Orlock says Alarnuk is going. Aaron Hines says he's co-signing with Olsen there. Oh, we do have some of the late slate. Jose Ramirez from Reg Kell. I'll look quickly here at the late slate lineups and see if there's anything odd. All the home teams have submitted their lineups so far. Does not Langers and Soderstrom are in, so that looks fine. Will Smith is in. Back to that Dodgers lineup is not that great with Freeland and Kennedy there. Acuna is a good green. Is going with Acuna. Let's do we have Trevor Story for Drinking the Stars. You've got Perez there for King Trepreneur, Harris 2 and Buxton for Dirt McGirt, and Roman Anthony for John Davis. Is that the John Davis that is my cousin-in-law, or is it the John Davis who is my actual cousin? Different sides of the family. So
I'm gonna say neither.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's probably neither, but that's a little funny now that since I have the double John Davis in the family tree. But with that, we are going to get on out of here. It is 1:35. That is baseball first lock. Ayo Kimbrough, you get the last one. Bobby Witt Jr. You guys can follow Matt on Twitter at FantasyTipsMatt. You can find me at EMACDFS. And of course, it is stokastic_.com or _COM. Hit the like button. We did not get 100 likes yesterday. So for those of you here, I am definitely doing a phone call to Mama Mac tonight, and she's going to ask me how many likes we got. It better be 100. With that, gamers, good luck.